Asimelo, you're live now.
All right. Yeah, I'm good.
Nadebani, can you hear Asimelo?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, I can move to
BK.
Yebo.
Good afternoon
and
welcome to our show. The name of the show is today's Callout. Ka show ena ke mane mo re buang le batho ka ho fapana mabapi le dintho tse re amang ka kotloloho re le batho. Re dumella batho ba ka tla to converse on our show kapa to educate. And Ndadebani, re a amohela ke a hopola go la mpolella hore ke se ke ka bitsa ka re Ndadebani and ke tla referela to Bani kapa BK. Do you allow me to do that?
Yes, that's very fine.
Thank you so much. Ke kopa hore o re hlalosetse hore na BK ke mang kapa Bani boka ke mang.
All right. Thank you so much for me. Ka ke Bokambani. Ke dula Hamabote. I'm an activist and I'm also a founder of a new movement called Queer Works. Ideally, Queer Works' intention is for us as activists and people in the LGBT community to thrive or to promote social and economic inclusion. In an ideal world, LGBTIQ plus persons, they are very low on the food chain. So how do we advocate for inclusivity? How do we promote that we also contribute to the economy? As much as the assumption would be that LGBTI rights are special, they're not so much special. It's just that they are not getting the exact things that they need to get. So we just try to find ways that we make things a little bit better.
Oh, perfect. Motho a sa tsebeng ha o leka ho mo hlalosetsa hore na ke LGBTQ, right? O ka re hlalosetsa hore na keng and what does it stands for?
Okay. Ha batho ba bang ba re bitsa alphabet gang, ba re bitsa alphabet mafia, ba re bitsa the rainbow mafias and all of that. But hey, LGBTIQ plus and many other letters that come. L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, LGB stands for bisexual, trans, intersex, queer or questioning, and then the plus, it means other sexual orientation and gender identities or diverse or various sexual orientations and gender identities. But I know sometimes with conversations like this, the idea would be to also explain what a lesbian is, what a bisexual person is, what a transgender, which honestly, there is more than what those letters mean. And I believe the conversation that's now. Why do we have to go beyond just all the time having to explain what a lesbian is or what a gay person is or what a bisexual person is and a transgender person is? So when we are having this conversation, everything that is taken in terms of explaining exactly what the letters stand for.
Oh, perfect. Honale to our communities. Batho ba mofuta ona ke batho ba experiencing a lot of challenges. Ka hore ha se batho be re ba utlwisisang as people like the community. Mohlala, ngwana a ka hlaha, the expectations as the community ke hore ngwana it's either it's a female or a male. E leng ntho re hotseng re nahana hore e jwalo, e leng the conception eo re nkang dintho ka yona. Jwale o fumana hore those child ha ba hola, they end up ba qetella ba hide taba hore na maybe it's a gay, maybe it's a lesbian or any other. So o nahana seo se bakwa ke
Dintho di ngata tseo go ka etsahalang bophelong ba motho e mong le mong e ka ba ka mekgwa ya influence ka hlahang in any way, e ka ba biological construction and all of that. I honestly don't believe anybody just wakes up and decides that they are going to be gay or they're going to be lesbian or they are going to identify in any other way. I think what is a little bit tricky is we phumana o le motho now hantle na o boleng ba hao ke bofeng kapa o batla gore o phele bophelo ba hao ka tsela e jwang. Go bua nnete re le batho we are a very complex we are complex beings regardless of na o tla botho moshanyana o ngwanana o mme o ntate in whatever identity that o tla bo ipile ka yona, we don't just exist as in one dimension, if I could put it that way. And for diversity and for the mere fact that that is why okay, this is how I identify. You are doing anything that is different or anything that is out of the ordinary or anything e qalang ho etsahala. E ka mpa ya ba fela hore na in an ideal world, more religion, more culture, ile ya beha batho ba tlameha hore ba be ka teng ke hore wena o tla ba mosimane, wena o tla ba mosadi. Anything else that comes in between in terms of relating or in terms of expressing, it was deemed or is deemed as abnormal or a disorder or something but in actual fact and I think recognizing that diversity, acknowledging that we are different and respecting that we are different in whatever form in as a community, as people generally.
Oh, that's perfect. Ausimelo, ha ke tsebe ha eba lerata le hlang ka ho wena o na le the stream so se shebelletseng wa rutwa Ausimelo in an idea religion outside Ausimelo, we cannot hear you. But there is a background noise if I'm from your side. But anyway, BK, let's continue.
Yes, sir. All right.
How so hlalosetsa motho ya sa tsebeng like the mere Mosotho or understand hore na ha motho is a male, motho is a female. Boikutlo ba hae ke bofeng bo re ka ra reng ka kotloloho ba batla ho mo classify tlasa class 18 mohlomong ba batla hore it's a female, mohlomong ho latela hore na the physical appearance kapa eng kaofela. So ha o hlalosetsa motho what's the feeling ba ikutla ba batho ba mohlomong re batla ba classify the way rona re batla ba classify.
Maybe without without even having to generalize. For
Yes.
instance, I'm a gay
Yes.
man. It means I am attracted to other male.
Mm-hmm.
As so to ke motho yo ho ka thweng ke monna a ratang banna ba bang.
Okay.
Sorry, jwale ha ho le jwalo ha ho bolele hore kapa mohlomong ka re ntse ke utlwahala ke re
Yes. Yes.
okay. Jwale without having to generalize hore na mohlomong na batho ba ikutlwa jwang, but in another context motho o tla bo thwe ke lesbian ko bane e le motho e le mosadi a tla ba na le maikutlo e ka ba a thobalano kapa e ka ba maikutlo a lerato towards other females kapa basading ba bang, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yes.
maikutlo a batho ba bang kapa when it comes to relations and sexual attraction or whatever, e tla be le motho a ka iphumanang a na le maikutlo ho batho ba boleng e ka ba banna e ka ba basadi. And then batho ba bang is not really a sexual orientation, it's a whole motho e mong mmele o a bopuweng ka ona utlwa e se mmele o a thabelang kapa a ka batlang go phela ka hara ona haeba ke hlalosa ka tsela e nepahetseng. It means you are born in a male body
Mm-hmm.
but you do not identify as such. You
Okay.
identify as a female. It means the way we ikutlwang, the way o batlang ho phela ka yona ke hobane o batla ho phela you utlwa hore mmele o phela ka yona it's not the right for you, and rather o tla bo batla ho phela in another body. Jwale
Mm-hmm.
kapa mohlomong transition into another body tla be mohlomong when we talk about transgender. But I never really want to get into where I know for sure that people that are that their gender identity might be transgender or intersex. Like most of the time they need to get platforms like this or go deeper because their experiences are not the same experiences that I have, and they have the
Okay.
upper hand in terms of they are actually the right people that can explain it come home from experience and also from the
Mm-hmm.
lives that they are living. But like I said, we cannot generalize the way we are, we cannot generalize our experiences, and we cannot generalize the way
Mm-hmm.
we attract or the way we love.
Okay. Is there anyhow we have a group that can be attracted to both the males and the female? Ele mokgwa o kapa the way o leng ka teng, being attracted to both genders. Not that you are a male, maybe you are attracted to females. Not that you are a female, you are attracted to males. You can be attracted to, you are a male, you can be attracted to another male. You can be a female, be attracted to another female.
Mm-hmm.
So is there anywhere more you are
Mm-hmm.
attracted to both genders?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to all of this sexual orientation and
Yes.
gender identity and how we relate and how we are physically attracted to each other. I mean, it's as diverse as it is. Like I said in the
Mm.
beginning, we are not just in one dimension. Anybody can be
Okay.
attracted to just any person out. And I think we have to
Yes.
also get it right, Jorge. Uh, the fact that there is all these labels, like it's for the purpose of activism just to make people understand. But in actual fact,
Yes.
or in our realities, or in my reality, anything can happen at any given time. And
Yes.
I'm at the liberty or at the discretion to do that. I could be attracted to both males, I could be attracted to both females, maybe at the same
Mm-hmm.
time or never at the same time. It's a law now. motho o ho kae bophelong o batla eng ke discretion ya motho at the end of the day. And in whenever that happens, because there is a big conversation that within activism spaces and within the movement, especially around bisexual people, biphobia is such a huge thing because you have this person that is attracted to both sexes or is attracted to, it could be attracted to a male, could be attracted to a female. And most of the time with such relationships, you find that there is another side that is assumed or they are in a relationship, you understand? And that is not the case most of the time. Moto at one point will be dating this person, but at one point they would be dating the other person. But like I said, sometimes issues of LGBTIQ plus persons and the community are not just centered around that, right? Are not just centered around the sexual part of that. There is a whole dynamic as human beings. Because I always want to step back and say, as human beings, there is a whole lot that we can look at without having to always regress to what goes on between the sheets. Who is attracted to who? How do they do this and that and that and that? I think remove from where we are as a community, as a society, and look at this diversity as more than sexual beings and as more than just a perversion that people could be like, oh, or ew, this is not normal, or this is not acceptable in not so many words. So I think perhaps we could also try to see how do we move from just looking at it from a sexual and attraction based issues how community society.
Okay. Ha ke botsa hore na in terms of the country's laws, na hona le melao e se le teng ka hara naha ka mo e support-ang ditaba haholo tse amanang le batho ba boleng bo le
the fundamental human rights ka botsona ke dumela hore di sireletsa motho e mong le mong, and I'm glad that you asked this question because at the moment there is an amendment that is very interesting that in our constitution, especially when it comes to human rights and freedoms. Freedom from discrimination, how we identify and how we can be protected. The amendment is like it's very explicit in terms of sexual orientation and gender identity. I get it how so every person is entitled to whatever, regardless of color, race, language, religion, political affiliation, and all of those that. But this time around, the constitution is going to be very explicit. Sexual orientation and gender identity. It means recognition is there, right? People litigation in a very complex, which I do not even want to get into because like but as much as the constitution is yeah, as much as the constitution is recognized, but at some point into detail how sort of as much as but the way batho ba boleng ba rona re leng ka teng re ntse re ka iphumana re le against the law. But I'm happy for this amendment. I'm happy that this amendment is sheba haholo taba ya protection. E leng ntho eo re ntse re face haholo as the LGBTIQ plus community, as people generally, that we are not protected. O hlaelwa ke ntho o ya mapoleseng ba o bona o hlaha ka tsela e jwang ha o fumane protection. O ya moreneng moreneng ha o kena ho thwe ho ntse le taba ya hore bomme ba kene ba le jwang bontate ba kene ba apere ka mokgwa jwang, and here is this person that looks a certain way. Jwale expectation or the assumption is just because you look this way, you have to behave and do this way. Wa hlokomela hore motho ha fika moreneng ha sireletseha. Re a di-clinicing o batla o lo fumana thuso, but the way I'm presenting kapo the way ke buang ka ona kapo the way ke hlahang ka teng ha e correspond le expectation kapo le di-assumptions. Wa hlokomela hore ha ke fika clinicing manene o ka etsahala ebe ha ke fumane ditshebeletso hobane jwale ke se ka mokgwa o ke lebelletsweng. So until we are protected as people, regardless of how we express, regardless of how we identify, we strive for, because this thing ya discrimination ya hore ebe re fumana re sa fumane dintho kapo re sa fumane ditshebeletso ka baka la ka mokgwa re hlang ka teng, ke yona ntho re tlameha hore re bone hore e ba ka pele tabeng ya tshireletso ya batho ba boleng ba rona. So I'm glad for this amendment, and I'm glad that we are at this stage as a nation. Yeah, ke a tsaya ntho tse ngata batho ba tlabentse ba re no na e amohelehile ho amohelehile gore e kgolo gore ha ntse o tena molao gore batho ba amohelehile kapo batho ba boleng ba rona ba amohelehile. Can we just go back to the basics? Human rights, re bua ka batho mona, go bohlokwa hore everything else re dulang re etsa re dule re khutlela morao hore the moment you start talking about bophelo ba motho kapo botho kapo the way motho a leng ka teng o tlameha go bona le yena o fumana as many things tseo motho e mong le mong a di fumanang. I mean, we are talking about the challenges that we face more than anything in terms of those challenges. The social and economic inclusion ya batho ba boleng ba rona kapo ya the LGBTI community e ntse le bohlokwa. Ha se re sheba batjha generally at the moment, we are seeing unemployment rate in the phahama le ho feta. It's a big conversation in the country. And imagine if re ntse re bua ka batjha re ha batjha ba batla mesebetsi, and then there is a portion, a population of batjha within that context. Eo yona e sitwang ho fumana mesebetsi hobane fela ba sa hlae ka mokgwa batho ba lebelletseng ho ba hlae ka teng. Wa hlokomela hore ntho e ntse re kgutletsa morao as generally re le naha kapo re le setjhaba, hobane ho ntse ho na le batho bao o ba siellang morao beo ba sa tla ba kgona hore le bona ba contribute towards the economy or towards go bona hore naha le yona ya hola kapo maphelo a bona a fetoha, malapa a bona a fetoha, le bona ba kgona hore ba iketsetse. So dingata ntho tse tlameha mohlomong tse re ka di shebang haholo ha re shebile taba bona di-challenge tseo LGBTI community kapo re le batho na re kopanang le tsona. E nngwe e kgolo eo another challenge within is via health, right? And you look at that, how la re fita di-clinic monana access ha re fumane, how for instance if we are looking at gender affirming health services, more mohlomong re shebile trans people or trans persons ba hloka di-services tseo tlabe di le specifically for the affirmation, e le hore le yena a tseba ho phela hantle, a tseba ho phela a lokoloile, a tseba ho phela a hlokomelehile. So wa hlokomela hore di-channel tse re buang ka tsona, they are so diverse, dingata, ha di special, empa e le hore le tsona they are fundamental for our well-being, because there is no way re ka nna ka tswela pele ebe batho ba bang bona ba salletse morao. Re hloka hore kaofela bona ha o ntso advance-wa, ha ntso batho ba hloka bophelo bona bo tswele pele, why ba bang bona maphelo a bona tlameha hore a selle morao? Just because they identify in a certain way.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, that was a mouthful.
BK, that's so much of the development and this information that you have shared with us. It's educational, so re learn a lot. So hona le potso e kena mona e kena, and from Kia Precious. Wa bona ke on your screen.
Jwale ka ba shebile phone ke bona re ke paging so mo itla khona nthusa gore ke bona hantle. But yeah, o ka nna ka tsela pele mpalla yona.
It's right on the screen. Ke kopa ho balla yo. Kia Precious ore na ha ke na bothata le lesbians,
yes, please,
or gays, but ke na le bothata ba banna ba tla nyala basadi, yet ntse ba tseba hore they are attracted to other men. Why do they have to hide behind marriage by hating women?
Okay, that's a loaded question.
So much.
E thata ho ya ka mokgwa o hlakileng. Yeah. Let's be realistic and let's be factual and very practical. I don't believe in honesty that they are hiding from or their intention was to hurt but they are hiding. In a society, we live in communities and in a country that is driven so much in making sure that anybody that identifies otherwise or anybody that wants to relate in any way, if they over discriminated against. I'm trying to find a way e tla hlalosa hantle hore na batho ba ketella kgolo jwalo hobane ha o hola le moshanyana o kena sekolo o etsa everything else that you are supposed to do, wa hola wa sebetsa, ho na le ditebello lelapeng, o lebelletse hore o lo nyala moradi wa mama ebile ka nna ba malapa a bolona na sa ntsa dumellane ho tloha kgale hore no nna ngwana ka tlatanyala wa hao jwalo jwalo. Jwale here you are with all these expectations o ntso tseba hore either the moment o kala hore nna ka nnete ha ke rate Nthabiseng hobane jwale Nthabiseng ha ke utlwe ke thabela hore nka phela le yena, ke thabela ho phela le bokang. Ya pele o so ntso sheba hore na tlhekefetso na e ngata ha ka kae the moment o kala ho bolela taba eno, either o iphumana o tebetswe heno motseng mo phelang teng wa kua, o iphumana o so sa be free hore o phele sekolong, ha o sa kgona ho kena sekolo hantle, le mosebetsing ha o ka o fumana o sa o fumane hobane jwale ha ya amoheleha ka hara community. Jwale batho bana ba modimo ba sa iketsa hore motho a ketella a nyetse motho wa mme ebile be se maikutlo a hae hore a lo header motho wa mme, empa le hore ho bo lebelletswe something, there is something that is expectations from people, from the society, from the community hore o ketella ho le jwalo. I don't believe in I don't believe evil intention ya bona, and it's so unfortunate that in this era, at this time, that people still have to hide their identity. People still have to feel like they cannot come out or they cannot live that truth. Ka baka la hore na jwale na ho tla ha thweng malapeng a bona ha sa hlaha jwale ana le motho a mo ratang e le motho wa boleng bo tshwanang le yena. I mean, it's such a loaded, it's such a complex situations and experiences that people go through. And it's so unfortunate that women are at the end, or who end up having to bear all this embarrassment, who end up having to bear all this burden of feeling like Jwale motho enwa sala ntse a bapala ka yena. Yeah, it's a loaded one. It's not as clear as
Hona jwale, empa e le gore fela let's be open our hearts, let's acknowledge that re fapaneng re le batho, ha re rataneng, ha re hlomphaneng, you know, hobane qetello they might be asking that question, but at the same time e fumana hore ke batho, the very same people ha o fihla motsemane ebe ke batho ba ntse ba re ye o hlale jwang ye hobaneng a nyetse, you know, things like that. So it's a little bit complicated. And
Okay,
Precious, for that question.
Are you still there? Yes. All right. Kehola, we are about to end our program, but I just want you to give me your analysis as a country, or as an Africa, as a continent. How far tabeng ya ho supporta batho ba mofuta?
Honestly, I mean, we just the month of June, which is recognized as Pride Month. Every year we celebrate, we recognize where we come from as, you know, global. Like I'm talking generally as a community. There are strides that are made. Yeah, there are strides that are made. There's movement. There's change. There's acceptance. There is progress in terms of the movement, in terms of inclusion, in terms of recognizing that we do not just exist as in binary, or there is diversity that needs to be celebrated. We look at countries like Botswana doing such amazing, have been doing such an amazing. Oh, I'm trying to say it. We look at Botswana. We look at countries like Eswatini. Currently, the movement is impactful, and it's lessons that we can take home, we can take away from. You know, it's small things that are very monumental. That 10 years from now on, when we get to 2030, that we'll be having a different conversation. As much as Rebona progress, and I'm grateful for the progress, it's so unfortunate that we still see a lot of violence. We see people that are being killed because they are not what their community or what is expected. We still see a lot of offenses that lesbians, transgender people that are facing in our communities. We still see deaths of people that are killed because of who they are. So for as long as we continue to experience that, for continue to see such cases happening, it will be hard that changes. I'm glad that with conversation, especially around amending the constitution. I am glad that we see manifestos of political parties to include or to mention LGBTI people in their manifestos. A few years back, it wasn't something that we'd be talking about, and I'm glad that religious leaders, political leaders, cultural leaders, or traditional leaders are also coming on board in terms of opening up their hearts, the conversation, enough that motho e mong le mong le mong ka hara naha ena Lesotho a phela hantle, a hlokomelehile, a tshireletsehile, le yena a tseba ho phela bophelo ba hae fully. So as much as there is progress, there's still a lot of work that we still need to do. and it requires that each and every one of them to come together. It requires that we open our hearts. E hloka hore re be le lerato, e hloka hore re utlwelane, e hloka hore motho o mong le mong le mong ma dutseng o nahane e se le ngwanabo. Everything else that is happening is not isolated. A se hobane lapa la bo mamang la bane mohlomong le cursed kapo la bo mamang le jwang jwang. Anyone could be anything in any family, in any background. We just have to be there for each other and support each other.
Thank you. That's so much. That okay. Hana untshwarele. BK.
No, I understand.
You understand. Thank you. Hona le re Basotho wa tseba re rata ho hlompha haholo. Ha o se re go bitse BK fela wa tseba hore alright. Hona le bana ba banyenyana ba ntseng ba hola ba experiencing a lot of challenges haholo dikolong kapa from the communities tse ba phelang ho tsona. Some of them ba qetella ba sitwa to disclose hore na ke batho ba boleng bofe, just because ba le taba ya ho jajwa kapa taba ya hore mohlomong the family e ka motebela ka mo discriminate. So all those sort of challenges.
Yeah.
So what can be your advice to those young people? Haholo ebile o ba eletsa hore na what's the best way eo ba ka kgonang go ba disclose boleng ba.
I am a huge advocate of people not necessarily. I don't believe it's that important for people to come out. I don't even think it's necessary. Hobane, in any case, and I say this very recklessly, straight people do not come out. You don't just come out. How am sorry? Nike straight people, right?
Yes.
So as young as they are, I don't know when I'm thing, but I could just make an example. They don't know, they don't owe anyone an explanation. They don't owe anyone hore ba tseba hore na ba rata eng ha ba rate eng in terms of, you know, the identities and all of that. But I think more than anything, which is not easy, I mean, I must admit, maybe from Hakibu and I'm speaking from a point of privilege, which I must also acknowledge that maybe I didn't have to come out. Sometimes as activists, it looks that effect, everything is all, you know, roses and all of that. No, and excuse my French, it's a shit show, you know, to come out, to find yourself in a space where people and you have to explain yourself, you have to no, it's unnecessary. It's just that now the discrimination and the judgments and everything come because of the expression. And the expression, you sort of have to feel you need to tone it down so that only in a space where you might find yourself and all of that. Hey, it's not easy. It's a journey.
Yeah.
They are going to face a lot of challenges, but they are never alone. We are here. There have been people that have come before them. We are trying as many movements that are coming up. There's a lot of movements in the country. There's the People's Matrix. There is Masters of Healing. They are all over this country. There are resources. There are people that are always available to assist, you know, in any way. But more than anything, ka kgola ntse le hore re le community, re le batswadi, re le matitjhere, re le manese, re le dingaka, re le marena, re le baruti, re utlwisisa hore le rona re na le responsibility to take care of each other, re le batho more than anything. Ha o tlotla o hlekisa ngwana a 15 years old titjhere o mo rwaka ka class kapa mo ntsha ka sekolo, what are you intending to do? Is it justice? Is it fair? So I think re Basotho genuinely re na le lerato leo ebile re ra ratana ebile re na le botho. I don't believe botho ba rona bo tla etsa hore re etsa hore re be batho ba ntshang bana ka malapeng ebe re thabela ha ba dula diterateng, ebe re thabela ha ba dula mo sa tsebe rona ba sireletsehile, ebe re thabela go bona ba sa kene dikolo, ebe re thabela bona ba maphelo a bona a sa tswele pele. So let's be factual in tabeng re buang ka hore re Basotho. Re be batho ba nnete, ha eba itlile Bosotho bo ba rona bo bolela hore re tla ba le botho. Let's show it.
BK, ka nnete o kgonne ho rarolela, o kgonne ho share le rona, o kgonne ho re ruta. Ke nahana hore e mong le mong a shebelletseng this show ka nnete hona le ntho a ithutileng yona. And this is my last question because ha re sa nako e se le ka mora rona ho le seretsi. So this is my last question. Ke hore na hona le this perception ya batho be ba nang le yona haholo ha ba ya ba tobane le batho ba boleng bo lebong. Ha ba tsama strategy man, they used to say these people like they never mind the game. So ba tlo qalela ba sebedisa those words le bona ba bua le bona jwang. You know that ba re ke never mind. So what can you say on that? What ntho ka bo yona e etsang ho motho yo ka kotloloho? Some ba etsa those booing ha feta a etsa, you understand all those things. So a go go the mentally taba yo e ama batho ba utlwa.
Haholo fela. Yeah, as or never mind. I think I'm one of those people that not even never mind. Actually, I feel like how Otama starting. You have to put faith. You have to be strong in yourself. You have to believe that you can handle anything. Bravery, no. It's one of the hardest things that as people we have to sort of go through. Then you have to breathe in a den of lions, right? And here you are, starting, yes, you're never mind and all of that. But mental wise or mental, you are dealing with a lot. It's one of the reasons why LGBT people, but I mean, the statistics is very vague. Mental health can lead to depression, can lead to suicides. We find ourselves coping in our existence or whatever. Yeah, we might be never mind. People might be never mind, but people are going through the most. People are not okay. Yes, they might be never mind, but they need mental health support. Serious. With all these movements, with all these organizations, and we are trying as hard as we can that we mitigate dealing with mental health and making sure that resources are available, making sure that there is support, making sure that they get everything else. So yeah, I mean, now one thing I'll always say is we are not here to make people feel comfortable in our existence. We are not here to get validation from people. In their existence, in that space, validation from other people, well, that's for them. I don't believe LGBTIQ plus persons are there to find validation. I think the only thing that is greatly the big thing is just hore baphile bophelo bo motho o mong le mong a bo phelang, and I think that's it. Haeba ngwana weso ha itsamaya strateng mo, yes, o tla kopana le taba tseo and o tla ba feela hore today wasn't a good day. There's a lot of ways that they could get hold of any of us, any of the movements in the country, any of the organizations. They will get the support. There's a lot of us in this country, and I'm loving, for the past 2 years, I've been loving how LGBTI people have been there for each other. I mean, since COVID, it's been such a warm feeling to be in a community where you can check up with somebody that they meet us in all these platforms, everywhere on the streets, on social media platforms, and we have built such a warm, such a loving community that they know they could always get into my inbox. They could talk to somebody. I could refer them to anybody. If it's something that I cannot handle or something that I cannot, help with. So we are here. We are queer, and we are here to live and to live to our fullest.
Wow, that's perfect. So ha re khutlela morao re a bona re na le one of our viewers, Isa. What's on the screen? That closing statement, well said, B. Ha ke tsebe haeba wa e bona from your side.
Yes, that's my baby right there. Yeah,
so there is the last question from Kia again. I don't know if you can see the question.
Okay. Oh yes, yeah, one of Precious. Yes, I see it.
Yes.
Almost gays, they tend to be a whole mood, like those guys are all over with happiness and fun. In other hand, lesbians, they like to act bossy and all of that. What causes the difference? Precious girl, I don't know, babe. I really don't know. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay.
I cannot even answer that one.
All right, thank you very much. We have reached the end of our program, BK. So now maybe a hlokang hore a ka bue le wena just to share with you elora a qetelletse a iphumane le yena a ikutlwe a le hantle jalo ka ha go bona tsena go monate. So which are the platforms tseo ba ka ba contactang ka tsona? Do you mind sharing your numbers or any social media platforms bo ka ba kopana le?
Yeah, my numbers, they're stock out there, so I do not trust people with my numbers. But I'm kidding. But they can find me on Facebook. I'm easily accessible. I'm easily accessible on social platforms. It's just Bokambani. If you search Bokambani, you'll find me. But there is also a beautiful platform that they can find us at. It's QueerWorks. QueerWorks is QueerWorks. It's a page on Facebook. They can find me there. Other than that, honestly, if they just drop an inbox, I'll be able to have a conversation. I'm always keen to have conversations with as many people as I could, especially those that are feeling some type of way in terms of acceptance, coming to terms with who you are and all of that. Not that I'm saying I am fully, completely, perfectly living my authentic life. There are spaces that I still come to, I still have to, sort of turn it around and be like, what is happening here? But like I said, because it's a journey, I'm also every day, I'm learning things about you. And I'm always eager to, to also help people to also discover themselves. So they can find me on Facebook, simply Bakambani, and I'll be willing to have such questions. And even for conversations, I see Precious with whatever I'm claiming, they have certain things that they also want to iron out, or they want to understand more. I'm extending that invitation, but there are limitations as well to the type of questions I will be willing to answer as well.
All right, thank you very much, BK. This is the end of our show.
All right,
and I hope next time in Hareta you want you will allow us share just to educate people, because what's more important is the education. Without education, we won't be able to understand what is it that is needed to accept everyone. We are just different as people, but we are all human. So thank you very much, sir.
Exactly. The doors are always open. Anytime, I'm always available. You got my number, you got me. So anytime, the conversations are so many, and I hope that because we have started this one, that we'll get to have more and more conversations just to progress in terms of the education.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Nice one. All right.
All right.
All righty.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mogambani, who was with us today, just to share with us what should we do. We need to understand we are just human beings. So it does not determine we are different and we should be treated differently. So the treatment should be the same to everyone. Thank you very much. Let me see you next time. I'm very sorry for Kabilele interview Kabilele yona yelia mo ne re lokela ho bua le Prof Chabalala, and the network wasn't great for us, and we'll try to connect to him maybe before the end of the day. Thank you very much. Thank you for all those who stayed with us. And thank you once again.